Hey Clashers, the Legend July season just ended, and on rank number 8 we have a really interesting strategy. Because actually the player DM'd me and told me, well, check out the strategy I used to finish rank 8 global, because he's running the Electro Dragon strategy, but instead with an Ice Hound and an Electro Titan. So let's check out what exactly he is running and how he's playing this crazy army. If you want to try this strategy on your own after this video, there's the link. I post the link down below in the description, so you can just copy it and know exactly what to do when jumping into the attack. So let's do exactly that. Let's start things off versus the X rank 1 legend player. By the way, as well, if you want to copy the base, you can do that. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, what everyone does, but I don't have a link. But as well, before we're jumping into the attack where he's starting, I want to give a really big shout out to him, because, well, like to Wolo, who has shared all of those attacks, because without him I think I would have never even considered doing a strategy like this, or more like showcasing a strategy like this, which is really cool. So a huge shout out goes to him. I have linked a couple of his things down below, like YouTube and everything, so check it out in the description. But now let's dive into it. So he has the Ice on right now, just tanking for his Electro Dragons, and then he has the Blimp flying all the way towards the Town Hall. As we have just seen, he is using goblins, super minions, and super wizards inside the Blimp. The reason why he's combining those troops is because the super minions have a really big problem. And that problem is defending heroes, or defending clan castle troops, or defending skeleton traps. All of those are a nightmare to handle for super minions because they're single target damage. What is better than just adding a troop which is dealing splash damage to the mix? And that's exactly what he does. Another thing at this point is, you might think, well, this attack looks horrible. I mean, nothing has went down. Like, there's like still above 50% of the base left, and he has no troops left pretty much at this point. So, well, the reason is why this still looks good is because the most powerful thing in your army is your heroes. And the good thing which he did is he did not invest every single invisibility spell. That is a really important lesson, which I'm not really seeing that often getting used from a lot of players, especially people who are just casually playing the game. If you're using a Blimp, Super Archer, Super Wizard, or this combination, doesn't matter, and your Blimp, the value which you have gotten is reached, don't invest the last invisibility spells. And that's exactly what he did. So he flew right on top of the Town Hall, made sure that he got the value what he was coming for, Town Hall and Monolith, and as soon as that was done, he just not invested any more spells, and with that the entire core was able to go down just from the Royal Champion. And this is just the little things which can make you reach really high rank. So really nicely done. And then the next key to the strategy is really to showcase the power of your heroes. This is like what this is all about, right? Like, this is the key thing. The Electro Dragons and the Blimp are mainly to take down a part of the base which is having a really high damage area, like the Town Hall, like Monolith, like Expo, Scatter Shots, things like that. And then the heroes can finish things off, and especially with the Titan, you don't have to worry about the clan castle, you don't have to worry about the skeleton traps whatsoever, and this really showcases this strategy is really nice versus the current meta. The reason why he's using Electro Dragons, he said, is because he thinks that the current meta bases are quite compact, so the Electro Dragons work the best compared to other air troops, like, I don't know, Dragon Riders, Inferno Dragons, regular Dragons, Super Dragons. So he thinks this is the best combination with the Electro Dragons, this type of Blimp. But we now have seen the box base, so now you're wondering, how do you attack diamond bases or even maybe ring bases? Let's jump into it. Let's go next with the ring base. This time, I think this might be Kronos from Tribe. I'm not 100% sure if he actually pushed that high or if that is like someone else. But either way, it's like a really high legend base. Top 2 guys, I think, is a clan where a lot of top players reset in. So, yeah, there should be really high trophies. Let's see what exactly he does. With this Blimp, I think it's super interesting to have this Blimp combination, or more like the troops inside. And especially with the double freeze, he can pretty much fly wherever he wants. He can freeze sweepers, he can freeze poison towers. You can see the poison tower did not even trigger. It is pretty much the perfect combination for a Blimp, while super minions being probably the strongest troop inside a Blimp at the moment. It is that the super wizards are just a really cool supportive tool to make sure that your super minions can, well, deal even more damage. And that's kind of what this strategy does so well. At this point now, the entire core is gone. The eagle is gone, so this means he can kind of like slowly approach the rest. The Ice Hound at this point is just like to give the Electro Dragons an easy access into the base, because the Electro Dragons, without a rage, they're not that fast. They're quite slow. So the Ice Golem or the Ice Hound is most of the time used for slowing things down. But one thing which he already told me is that you can be quite creative with the approaches. So what he said as well, what you can do is that you can actually time the Ice Hound to freeze things like a poison tower and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can do with this strategy, which is perfect for Legends, right? Like in Legends, strategies are working the best, which can be used in different or versus different bases. This strategy where you always have to do the same thing, kind of like Queen Charge Hybrid, where in most cases you just want to charge the Town Hall and then send the Hybrid in. This does not really work on every single type of base. It's kind of like more base dependent. But having a strategy which is not as base dependent is kind of the key thing in Legends. And this is what this strategy is. It has so many different options of doing things, which is quite impressive. And what I would have never expected just by looking at the strategy. And take a look at that. The Royal Champ at this point pretty much swagged. I feel that that's kind of like a swag Royal Champ. So overall, Royal Champ ability is still there. And this is going to be another crazy overkill. Really cool attack. Really impressive attack. But this gives us one base type still left. So we have seen now the box base, a ring base. And the last thing is going to be a diamond base. Last but not least, the diamond base. Diamond bases can be a really big nightmare. And, well, let's see how he's going to approach this one. What he does on this base actually is a really slow start. And I feel like this is, again, highlighting the creativity level of the strategy. After using the Ice Hound just with the Electro Dragons in the last attack, this time around he's doing a really slow start into the Eagle with just the Ice Hound tanking. The next thing what he does is sending all of the Electro Dragons in for the far right side, and then flying with the blimp across. And you can tell by now already why he's playing the Electro Dragons, because take a look at that. Everything is so compact because of those rage towers. But now the blimp flies across, and take a look at that. He can just fly directly into sweepers. This is something which base builders in most cases would not expect. So I feel like just by watching this attack, I feel like this might be the strongest blimp inside Clash of Clans. I don't know if, I mean, let me know what you think, but just by watching the synergy between the Super Wizards and the Super Minions, it's incredible. I would have never thought that this would work that successfully, and I would have maybe thought that, okay, it's really base dependent. But seeing someone being in the top 10 global, you don't get there by just having luck. Like, that's not how it works. If you're getting that high in Legends, it's typically something with your army, with your skill, something. And I think on this one is for sure a combination of both. Like this strategy being incredible, but as well the player being really, really skillful. So I think really, really nice synergy in between for the blimp. The Electro Dragons, as I've just mentioned, are a really good follow-up. Better than, for example, like regular dragons because of the splash. And you can see that really, really clearly in this one. Let me know if you would like to see more strategies with this type of blimp, because I don't know, am I going crazy when I'm saying that this might be the best blimp out there at the moment? I don't know, maybe, I wouldn't say he got lucky or anything, but let me know what you think about the blimp, because I feel like this blimp is looking incredible strong. And I'm looking forward to see if maybe in pro matches we're seeing this blimp more often, because I have to admit, I have not seen this type of blimp that often recently inside pro matches. Yes, Super Archer blimps, that's kind of common, and yes, Super Minion blimps, but not the synergy between Super Wizards and Super Minions. So overall, again, a huge thank you goes to Wolo for actually sharing everything with us. Really, really big thank you goes to him, and really big shout out, because, as I said, without him, this video would not be possible. So check out his stuff down below in the description. And, well, I hope I will see you guys back for the next video. Make sure to follow the channel for more Clash of Clans content. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.